Hello, sweet angels. My name is Amanda, your intuitive BFF and babe spiritual girly, and I am here welcoming you back to another episode of Awaken the Word, a journey into Christ consciousness. So today I pulled another tarot card to kind of set the tone, set the mood for today's conversation. And the word I kept hearing was foundations in faith and foundations in love. And the card that came out was the Ten of Pentacles. So in tarot, the Ten of Pentacles symbolizes fulfillment. It symbolizes just happiness, joy, love in all areas of your life, um, and contentment in terms of the material world. And taking this one step further, so the Ten of Pentacles symbolizes like the epitome of foundation. It's you have built your walls wisely. You have, with every single detail of your home, built it with such intentionality and such love and attention to detail. When we build our homes, sometimes we can create our homes on sand. And when we create our homes on sand, like our internal home, when the waves come, when the challenges come, it can easily penetrate our home. Therefore, leaving us with next to nothing over time because it will deteriorate our foundation and our foundations will be swept away. So much like when we operate in the consciousness of our ego, and this is the self-made identity. So when we operate and build our home using the self-made identity, we have a tendency to get trapped in our emotions, blinded by the emotions and our attachment to the external world, to where we can't even acknowledge or have the awareness that something is sinking and something is hurting inside of us because it's too painful to look at, so we just hide it and cast it away. When we build our foundation here and we learn to live here, what is actually happening is we are running on a program of fear. And this program of fear attaches itself to codependent relationships, to external objects and things like material goods or addictive behaviors, and things that keep us trapped and keep us from feeling any pain within us. So it's almost like something happened when we built our house. A wave came and is now flooding the basement, or has maybe even had like developed mold in the wood, right? But we don't want to acknowledge it because we just don't want to believe that it's true. It's too painful. It might cost too much. And the same thing goes with what happens inside our own physical beings. It's like when we live in our material world, when we grow up as children in this world, sometimes we all experience trauma in some way, shape, or form. And we're all susceptible at those young ages to the projections of our family, of society, of how society wants us to think and grow up, and how our parents want us to be. Um, and so we start to develop different behaviors and different beliefs, and this creates the foundation that we will live on, that we will live in, essentially, for our teenage and adult years. And when we build our foundations based off of these programs of fear, of unworthiness, of self-doubt, then what happens when that wave comes is it actually throws off our energy, our life force energy, causing blockages. And because we don't want to believe that they're true, or we're so fixated in the external world that we have no idea what's actually going on with our body, we're just not in tune with our internal operations, that we don't even know or are aware that there's mold starting to form in our home, that our foundation is starting to crumble, until all of a sudden we see physical signs that our home is deteriorating. And that may even lead to, like, let's say we have experienced some type of trauma in our life, right? But it's just so painful to try to even talk about or relive the memory that we just cast it away, pretend like it doesn't exist, or society says, no, we don't talk about those things. And then it has no place to go. So all of a sudden it starts to spread because it has no place to go. And then what ends up happening is that you start to experience physical symptoms of this energetic blockage, whether that be in the form of chronic back pain, migraines, rashes on your body, your menstrual cycle just not happening. Just something on the surface is now telling you that something is wrong internally, and you actually have to go seek medical attention and seek out external help in order to start getting your foundation back to like how it should be. But you don't even know how it should be because it's been built on these programs based in fear, based where the ego wants to keep you stuck and controlled in this state of submission. But you understand that, like, the state of submission is literally killing you. It's hurting your soul. Your soul is here to be free. We are spiritual beings living in this human physical world. And what happens is that all of a sudden something shifts when we experience a healing crisis, and it awakens you to a greater meaning of life. It awakens you to start looking within yourself and rebuilding your foundation. But you have to ask the question, where does my foundation even lie? Does it lie in fear, or does it lie in faith? And it's that bridge that I want to talk about today. How do we get out of our own prison cell that we have built for ourselves? We're not going to be able to blame others for the way that we feel and how we've ended up in our own prison cell, because that's just going to keep us completely stuck there. But we actually have to take responsibility and ownership over the fact that we have put ourselves in this state of confinement through our beliefs and through our thoughts. Our thoughts create our external world. That state of consciousness of fear is the projector in which we see life. A person who has a positive mind will see life differently than a person who has a negative and limited mind. And I'm not saying that your mind is limited. What I am saying is that the perception in which you choose to hold for yourself is a limited outlook. So, how do we build that bridge from this state of like, I'm a victim of my life, poor me, I'm stuck in this state of suffering, and I just don't know how to get out of it, to I really want to rebuild my foundation. Like, I've just had this healing crisis that's awakened me to ask the deeper questions in life, to seek out who I am, to go on this path and this journey of self discovery, but I don't even know where to start. My faith is so little, yet I have a tiny flame to keep me going. And this is what I want to talk about. This is in Corinthians 13, and it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. The bridge from this state of fear that is crumbling our foundation to the state of love and of peace, where our foundation is built on rock, where it's solid, it's built with the knowingness that we have never been separated from our source, that we've always been connected to God, is the bridge. love is the bridge, but in order to learn how to love yourself, you must forgive. And there's a few steps that happen before we even can forgive ourselves, because people have a lot of trouble sometimes with the concept of forgiveness. And I want to just acknowledge and express here that forgiveness isn't condoning what somebody did to you at all. But forgiveness is the act of no longer choosing to hold that grudge, to hold that energy within yourself. Forgiveness is for you, it's not for other people. It is simply for you to learn how to let go so that you can receive more love in your life. So, to talk about how to start to build this bridge over from fear back into a state of love is one through, like I said before, responsibility and ownership. We have to learn to take responsibility over our lives and take responsibility and ownership over the fact that our life is not where we want it to be. We have to choose differently for ourselves. And then we can learn to acknowledge where in our life, what beliefs that we have been carrying, what programs we have been operating on that have been causing such misalignment in our lives. And once we start to go within and look and say to ourselves and look at all those scary pieces of our past that we have casted away to shame, which is called the shadow self, when we start to do this quote unquote shadow work and actually acknowledge all of the trauma and all of these beliefs that have been stuck within our bodies, all of these pieces of us that we've casted away to fear and out of shame, when we give them space and room to be heard and acknowledged and expressed, that's when they can come to the light. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like a ghost movie or anything like that, but typically spirits will stay around on this earth plane because they have unfinished business. Your shadow self, these pieces of you that are causing disharmony within your energetic body, they're staying around because they have unfinished business. That unfinished business is because they haven't been seen, they haven't been heard, and they've been ignored. So when you can actually invite them to the center of your stage and ask them to show you what it is that, they would like to express, what it is that they are still holding on to, that's when you can start to practice the realm of forgiveness and the act of forgiveness. So you can invite that piece of you, that little girl that felt so frightened, that piece or that experience that felt so frightened and ashamed, to the forefront on that center stage, and you can ask that little girl, little boy, what is it you would have me know? Why are you still here? What are you carrying that I can learn from you and let go of? They will express that. And whatever emotions come up, allow for the emotions to come up. It's safe. Keep reminding yourself that it's safe to express and to feel whatever it is, because again, it's been trapped and stored within your body and it needs to be released somehow. So emotional expression is healthy in that sense when it can be in a healthy environment, a healthy setting. Then after you ask that piece of you to express itself, definitely take some time to journal about what it is that is being released and coming up to the surface. And then I want you to practice, it's called the Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian practice and it's extremely powerful in the terms of forgiveness and love and compassion, which again is we are creating that bridge built on forgiveness, leading us to love. And this is how the practice goes. That piece of you expresses itself. Okay. You say, thank you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can do this with anyone that you want to ask forgiveness to in your head. or any concept of forgiveness, right? Whether you're forgiving yourself or others, you can bring that person, bring that situation to the forefront, because again, we're here to get our energy channel cleared, right? Because that right now, all these experiences are blocking up, are filling up space, and we're not able to hear our intuitive guidance. We're not able to receive our Christ light because we are still so stuck in the past. So, again, the Ho'oponopono practice goes like this: you state said experience. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then just take a moment after that to reflect. Just reflect on where in the body you feel that release. Is it in your heart? Is it in your solar plexus chakra, right above your belly button? Where do you feel that release? And now what I invite you to do is to download a new belief into that energy center. The belief can be love never fails. Or I am open to creative solutions. I am open to receiving forgiveness and to being forgiven. Whatever this new belief is, what we're doing is whenever that old program wants to start to come back into play, because you've been operating on it for so long that we actually have to be really aware and conscious of when it starts to play in the background of our mind, and just surrender the thought, which we'll talk about next week. But right now I really want you to focus on building that new foundation, which is the bridge to get you over from this state of fear and back into your truth, your source energy. And it's the bridge of love, it's the bridge of forgiveness, and it's the bridge of compassion. And this bridge right here, we are that bridge. Your heart chakra is the bridge. We are clearing out all of those old files or storage in our energetic body, and we're making space for new energy to come in to show us who we truly are, to answer those questions about what your purpose is in life and how you can begin to fulfill your purpose as a spiritual being living a human experience. But more importantly, this exercise and this awareness will help you realize and reconnect with the love that lives within you and realize the love that you are. So I just want to summarize and recap today's episode, talking all about two foundations. The foundation set in fear, which we have been programmed into, and how that foundation will eventually crumble because it's not our truth. And that how through love and forgiveness we can actually create a bridge over back to start building and living in that foundation of peace and of joy, where we have always been connected to our source. And through taking ownership and responsibility over your life, through choosing better decisions and higher thoughts for yourself, and through the daily ritual of Ho'oponopono, the act of forgiveness and having compassion for yourself, you can start to create that bridge. And lastly, I just want to let you know that there is always hope. There is always love in this world, and love is the guiding light of hope. So just know that as you start to explore some of these uncomfortable areas within you, it's only uncomfortable because you haven't dealt with it yet. But the more you practice, the more you learn to love your shadow, the more you learn to release the pieces of you that have been casted away to shame, the stronger and the more whole you become, because you are rounded, just like the earth has both sun and darkness, right? Sun and moon. We too have both light and dark within us. And it's not about choosing one over the other, it's learning how to love both aspects of who we are. And that way we can really detach from the past and learn how to express ourselves in the present. So if any of these messages or practices resonated with you at all, just be sure to like, share, and comment, so that way I can respond to you, because again, we're all in this together, and we're here to support one another. And just be sure to um, click the subscribe button, just for more guidance on how you can journey into your own Christ consciousness and awaken the word of love that is within you. Until next time, friends, thank you.